What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. I'm here with Cmilk and Premo from the channel Raising Shanghai. You guys just shot a video about what it's like being dads in China, I guess. I wasn't there, I don't know.
Dads of a mixed-race child.
So in contrast, I had the idea of talking about why China, and I guess there's a few other countries in Asia, is such a good place to go if you're a single young man or woman, I guess. So this is something you've actually brought up on camera and off camera quite often. We're gonna try and stay away from the sort of like obvious conclusion where it's like you can just bang women because you're single and you're in a new country and it's all exciting. I want to stay away from that because I don't know. There's just more to it than that. It's not so simple. So, in your opinion, like what are the biggest advantages of being single in a place like this?
It's funny because I'm married.
Yeah, but you weren't always.
Right. I've known my wife for 8 years and I've been in China for 8 years. However, the romance that everyone knows and loves is true. But there were some rocky periods. And I
honestly thought you were going to say it's fake. Like, it's all bullshit. I'm just unraveling it all right now on Prozzie's channel. I don't like her.
Divorce. It's all over. No, but, there were times where I wasn't living in the same place, and, we're on and off. We're on and off. That's just how it is sometimes. And we only got serious about 4 years later. But anyway, long story short, I would say for me, the biggest appeal of being a single guy in a different country, and it's not just China, I think it's just being an expat, it's like turning over a new leaf, right? You can almost become another person, because when you're stuck in a small town like I am, you get to know the same kind of people, and you become locked into the kind of person that you are, right?
Yeah.
Your personality is who you are, and that's who you're known around there. But when you go to a completely random exotic place, especially like China, you kind of reinvent yourself into a different person. And
you at least have the opportunity to.
Yeah, for sure. And you can try new stuff, right? So it's almost like all of the restrictions and all the stuff that was holding you back, maybe preconceived notions or things like your self-awareness and stuff kind of go out the window, and you end up in a new place where you can do whatever you want.
How about you? Because, he's, in case you guys don't know, he's married as well with children, but were you always married while in China?
I was not always married in China. When I came to China, I was single, and I think like you said, it's an opportunity when you move to a new place, like to maybe get rid of some of the baggage that you carried before, the things that bothered you or the things that like held you back or held you down. I think you can lose some of those things and, like you said, reinvent yourself and maybe, either be more positive, be more outgoing, be more outspoken, or whatever it is you're trying to do. Even more polite or more generous. You can use that as an opportunity to start over. And no one is there to remind you of these things. You want to stop smoking. You have all new friends. You can stop smoking at that point. There's a lot of things you can do, I think it's good. It's good to go to a new place and try new things.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing we're getting at here is that you just don't have any baggage. Right. There's nothing holding you back. There's a certain sense of freedom that you have living here, being single. Just because there's not that significant other telling you what they think or shouldn't, or you should do or shouldn't do or whatever. So you just have this freedom to go do whatever you want and be whatever you want to be.
It's truly freeing to not be in a relationship and also be in a place where society and the people around you aren't expecting you to be a certain way.
Yeah, exactly, because they don't really know what foreigners are about, right? So they don't really have an expectation for you to do, there's no societal pressures coming down to you. Also, your family's all the way across the world, so on the flip side of that, it's quite sad, But the main point of the video, I think, is that you just have incredible opportunities and a sense of freedom to being single in China.
I still find it very strange that you asked two really lengthily married, we've been married a really long time, people that come and commentate on this, because it's kind of like rubbing salt in a wound.
Because you got married?
Well,
is marriage a wound that I'm rubbing salt on?
Marriage is an open gash that never stops bleeding. Okay, put that on a t-shirt.
You're just slowly dying. Yeah.
But my question for you is what advantages have you seen? Because you're still single, right?
Yeah, the thing is the reason both of you are on the channel is because now you're married, and so you guys have a good perspective at the differences between being single and now having a serious relationship and then eventually being married. I don't have that, right? So in my mind, I'm like, well, it's just going to be awesome forever. So I don't know. Are you guys about to ruin my hopes and dreams of just having this great future?
What are the downfalls
of being single in China? It can be incredibly lonely being single in China, I think. Even I'm sure even some people in the West might feel like that. When you move into your parents' place, you don't have any roommates, you're by yourself, and it's like you get off work and you just walk into an empty apartment and you're like,
okay.
Huh.
Wow. You need a dog or a cat.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
For sure. That will help.
for sure.
The downside, that's kind of a downside, but I think most of the time, foreigners like to go to bigger cities in China, and there's going to be a lot more foreigners, and then you make those friends, right? So
My insight on that is actually you can get a lot of Westerners can come here and actually end up in pretty bad relationships because they're actually not looking for someone like they would back home. They don't have that selection.
They don't take it seriously.
They just need companionship, right?
Yeah.
They just need someone to help them out because they can't pay their bills and they can't speak Chinese, right? So I see a lot of guys get into relationships with people they probably shouldn't be with, right?
Sure.
That's a downfall.
That happens a lot, actually. That's a good point. I think that, and I think if you're a foreigner here, one of the things you'll hear the most if you don't speak Chinese is like, oh, just go get a Chinese girlfriend. You'll learn Chinese. I don't know if I agree with that because then this girl might think it's like this super serious relationship and she's all excited and she finally met like someone that she might fall in love with and turns out you're just there because she's your Chinese teacher.
She's like your little secretary.
Yeah, something like, yeah.
Sure, but also like on top of that, like if you're in a relationship with someone who speaks a different language than you, like what is this relationship based on?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
what is the foundation of this relationship?
That makes sense because without the communication, like
Right.
not even on like a language
How do you know them?
basis.
How do you know that person at all?
You don't.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people that contact me and say, I see a lot of myself in you. I married a Chinese woman too, and she doesn't speak really that much English, and I don't speak any Chinese, but I just look in her eyes and I know it's love, right?
Yeah.
And I thoroughly disagree with that. I
Yeah.
don't think that's a realistic thing, right?
Sure.
And those relationships, more often than not, I'd say 90% of the time, end up in breaking up or divorce, right? So
Sure.
that is the thing. You're supposed to be talking about why it's great to be a single guy in
you
China.
asked me why it's a
and
downfall.
I flip-flopped that, and we stayed on that topic for a while.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back.
Well, how about this? What are some things, if there are things, that you guys wish you could do or experience or have, like, if now that you're married, that maybe you don't have because you're married? Like, if you could, like, be single, but not really because you're married, like, this question got complicated.
No, I
You
understand.
understand what I'm saying? Like, what would you like want to have or be able to do with zero consequences?
Mine's
Like your
super
wife doesn't
easy.
care.
Mine's super easy, and that's my wife is so understanding and like caring about what I want to do with my life.
She's all right.
That she lets me go and film for a month at a time, like go do a TV show, something like this. So it's not on her. It's not because I'm not single. What the problem boils down to is the guilt that I feel being away from my family and not being in the relationship. So for me, like what I miss is not having that feeling of longing. Like I should be home. I should be taking care of my family right now, but I'm off. Working.
You're inadvertently
or shooting
taking
something.
care of your family because you're making money doing
Of course,
it.
but
I know what
not
you mean.
physically being there, like
Yeah.
that actually bothers me, and that makes me uncomfortable, right? I wish I could live without that feeling, for sure.
Okay. How about you?
I totally agree with you. Like, sometimes I'll go out with my friends, and before I was married, before I had a family and kids, we would go to the bars. We would go out and do whatever. And I never once thought like, oh, I should go home and go to bed, or I should be more responsible. I never thought that. I just had fun, and I feel like I've tried this, like just in the recent months, like going out with my friends, like, hey, Premo, come on, let's go have a beer. And I go out, and I feel like if this isn't as much fun, like if I'm not thoroughly enjoying myself, I should be back home with my kids.
You're not enjoying yourself, right? It
Right,
prevents you
I'm
from
not fully
yourself.
enjoying
Right.
myself, for sure. I always feel like I should be back there, and I'm missing out on something.
Yeah.
I
That's
fully
what
agree with that. Absolutely. It's a feeling that probably no one can understand until they have a family of
Sure.
their own.
I never had it until I had a family of my own. So I mean, I've never felt that feeling.
And you get it when your single friends are just like, who cares? It's a day. It's
Right.
one night. Just
Right.
come out. They don't
Right.
get it. They don't get it.
Anyways, I didn't mean to make this video just us bitching about being married or being single. It's just supposed to give you guys an idea of like, it's what it's like to be here and be single. There's weird advantages you might not think of until you come here. And I do know a lot of foreigners that come here as a couple, actually, and that's also cool, actually. I would say that it makes a relationship a lot stronger because both of you guys are going to going through things that neither of you have ever gone through. And I feel like most foreigners that I meet that come here as couples leave being a lot more close.
You know what's weird is that something I've noticed with couples that come here, like let's say two Americans come over here as a couple, loving each other, not dodging
Guys just
spit behind us.
Whoa.
Two people that come over here end up being treated a lot better by the locals as opposed to a single white guy that comes and oftentimes comes off or looks like a sexpat, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Those trappings are gone, right? They're just two people that love each other, and people treat them a lot more openly and warmly from what I've seen.
Sure.
And they oftentimes leave China with a lot more positive outlook on China than a single dude does that kind of doesn't put himself fully into the culture.
That's a very good point. Actually, you were asking me earlier what's a downside of being single in China. It's the stigma that comes with it. If you're like this white Western dude that shows up in China, everyone immediately thinks you're a
You like
sexual
Chinese girls?
deviant.
You like Chinese girls, don't you?
Oh yeah, you probably blah, blah, blah. Just go have a little peek at my comment section to get a little know what I'm fucking talking about. It's ridiculous.
It is a quite toxic environment down
Yeah.
there.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I think a lot of what we're talking about is pretty anecdotal. It's going to be your own personal experience. Some of you might come here and really love being a single person. Some of you might hate it and get into a relationship, whatever.
That's
this is
the
just
point.
kind of
That's
our
the
opinion.
adventure.
Yeah, this is our opinion. If you have a different opinion, put it in the comment section. If you guys want to see sort of the other side of that coin, Hugh just shot a video with you about being married and having kind of a half-breed kid.
Half-breed? Is it a dog?
I mean-
Woof woof. Bow wow wow, yippee-yo, yippee-yay.
To the funk.
No, you're keeping that in.
Okay.
And actually, yeah, very, very entertaining video that Premo and I just shot about having a mixed child here in China. It's an experience that you can't really have unless you go abroad and are an expat and have, a different race.
Half-breed.
I want to say mate. I almost said mate if you're together with someone from a different culture and race. And our experience is doing that. And Premo, with his channel as well, we just shot a video together, actually me and his daughter, and it was super, super fun and cool. So we actually made this kind of little triumvirate of videos today, and everyone should go check them out because they're all around the same theme.
Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. Stay positive. Catch you on the next one. Keep your stick on the ice. Go check out my Patreon page and Facebook as well. I have a Facebook page so you guys can kind of keep updated with what's going on lately. Don't forget to check out both their channels. Stay positive.